If you clicked on this, you are not lazy, you're self-aware and ambitious. So, how are you going to fix this? Because it comes down to you and only you. Will it be one day, or is this day one? Got any suggestions, Andrew?
Well, you got to get your mind right if you're serious about investing, if you're serious about building a circle of other investors around you that are going to bring you deals. And if you are going to be brought interesting things to invest in that are going to make you a lot of money from people that are in the know, you've got to be interesting. You've got to be fun to be around. You've got to have the right energy. And if you're not getting that at the moment, you haven't reached that point.
So I would say to get a happy life, you need to get your mind right. And so many distractions at home are the reason why people can't perform at work. For someone like, say, Shane Warne, particularly that 2005 Ashes series where he absolutely dominated in the greatest series of all time, his family life was going down the chute, but he performed at work. But that's very unusual. That's very unusual. Usually if it's going down at home, it affects your work.
Well, certainly with all the distractions we have in life, and all of the fun things that we can do in our spare time, it can pull you away from the important thing of investing or business or the thing that's going to make you money. Because without money, certainly life is less interesting and you're not going to have as much fun. And the family life, your family, your friends, your close acquaintances, if they're not supportive of your goals or of the work required to reach them, they can pull you down. And certainly there's always going to be things, everyone you walk into, you come across in life, they've got something in their personal life that is a distraction enough to use as an excuse for not achieving goals. It can be health things. It can be going through separations. It can be something related to your friends. You're having fights. There's always good excuses for not achieving your goals, and everybody has some drama they're going through.
I've always found that CEOs are firefighters. They're always putting out problems, and generally people bring their problems to work. There's not one day a CEO is not dealing with some sort of problem with a person who's a valuable employee, but something happening in their private life. Let's look at the obvious. Therapy. Are you a proponent of it? What do you reckon?
I'm definitely a proponent of finding out where your blind spots are and learning, and if help from someone else is required, on how to be a better person, how to understand things more. That's going to help you develop and stop making mistakes, because everybody makes mistakes, but if you're making regular mistakes and the same mistakes over and over, that's going to be to your detriment. And so therapy or counseling or getting outside help to prevent that definitely will help you reach your goals.
See, I have a reasonably expensive car, but I think I've spent as much money replacing parts on that car as I did buying the car in the first place. And I don't think anything of it. But the idea of, say, spending $250 a week on therapy is a bridge too far. And yet, if I look at it, that if I don't get my mind right, I'm spending more money on my car, for God's sake.
You think about it like this. Let's say you have $10,000 to spend on therapy over the next 3 months, but that unlocks the skills and awareness that allow you to make an extra $50,000, $100,000 a year.
Great comment. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's ludicrous that you wouldn't spend the $10,000 on a therapist to unlock. And even if you needed to churn through 2, 3, 4, 5 therapists to find the right one, and this is from a guy that's not. I'm not in therapy right now, but getting outside help, getting mentorship, whether it's from books or podcasts or from other people that are years ahead of you, definitely can help unlock your income generating potential.
So I began therapy 3, 4, 5 years ago because my life was personal life going up. Career-wise, everything was fine. But I can't actually remember who that person was beforehand. But there is a difference, right? And I invest in my brain. That's how I see it. It's an investment in my brain, which makes me a better person. What I find interesting, though, is some people, when they go to therapy, use it as an excuse to get shit off their chest. Wife did this week. I've got this problem. And it always should be about you and really sitting in your discomfort about what you are doing wrong or how you are reacting to things, making your life worse. And the longer you stay in it, the more you get out of it. It is like unlocking secret levels in a game.
The negative self-talk and that kind of perpetuates the fears and anxieties that so many people have about going from one opportunity to the next or taking that next big leap on some life goal. If you can get through that drama and not allow it to take years off your life, then you should be doing anything you can.
So let's look at two things, because I've got a solution for you if you don't have $170 or $250 a week to spend on therapy. Let's have a look at two things that we discuss privately ourselves. First one, attachment theory. Okay. This is something that everyone, I think, I only learned about 5 years ago. Look it up on the internet. If you can learn attachment theory, I think it makes a huge difference to your personal relationships with your kids, your work colleagues, your friends, everyone. Everyone's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, understanding masculine and feminine frames and energy is a huge part of success in the workplace and home life. And understanding there's so much of when you're working is working with people you wouldn't necessarily choose to work with, but you have to.
Yeah.
Just the situation calls for it. And if you understand human dynamics and psychology for yourself and for them, then it can help you build triangles and frameworks to allow for better relationships and for things to get done.
Okay, so I'm a big proponent of attachment theory, which I talk Andrew, but you talk about this masculine feminine frame, which for some people would be controversial, but there's definitely a lot of truth in that, because young boys, particularly today, and we both have sons, don't know how to behave in a woke world.
Yeah, it's definitely a feminizing world with all the outside chemicals that we have floating around in our environments, and with trying to push down strong, rebellious, masculine energy, especially for our younger boys, but even grown men are getting told to suppress their emotions in the way that they naturally feel things. And the world, I think, more than ever needs that strong masculine energy. It's not just from men, it's from women too, to help us achieve greater things. Now, one of the things New Zealand's low productivity, that's the laziness that has been brought into us from outside factors, and we've allowed it to perpetuate to become our identity. Now, you think about when we went to war, World War I, World War II, the nation united, and we had a common cause, and that brought us strength and hope and dignity. Now, without a strong purpose, a lot of young men and the nation has nothing to strive towards. So now there's a lot of internal arguing, and 100,000 plus people sitting on the job seeker benefit. Now, some of those people should be there, that's fine, but there's a lot of people that are just letting the system look after them, the bare minimum, and it's really sad to see that the country's in a poor state, and seizing the masculine energy and finding something to be excited about, that's what makes life worth living.
So if you have ChatGPT, this is revolutionary. If you're not using ChatGPT on so many things, the world's leaving you behind. The best way to prompt, and this is a great hack, the best way to prompt ChatGPT is you start with act as a. Okay, so in the case of therapy, if you can't afford therapists, you should consider putting into ChatGPT, act as a top 1% in the world therapist on relationships, work dynamics, whatever it is. Then say, write me a prompt and say some stuff about yourself. And then you've got a prompt, and then you can ask ChatGPT, and that can be the start of your journey to getting this correct.
And certainly you don't have to write it all out. You can just do voice messages. Correct. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes even. If you really want to be successful, is understanding what's going on that you can't see is gonna help. And going back to, I've read thousands of books. It's one of the reasons I've been able to achieve what I have. One of the first books and the most meaningful books is Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. And basically the premise of the book, Man's Search for Meaning, that the meaning of life is to have meaning. And so many Kiwis, they don't have meaning in life. And if they do have a meaning in life, it would be something that's very kind of inwardly centered. It's not a bigger thing. So if you are struggling with success in investing, success at work, it's probably contributing factors are you've got blind spots with your personality and not being able to understand your colleagues and yourself. And the second thing might be that you don't have a strong enough desire to achieve something bigger, longer term in the future, that is meaning that your effort and your contribution is kind of relaxed. And if you turn yourself into somebody that needs to achieve a certain goal, then you're going to work harder, you're going to work better, you're going to be more appreciated and more demanded in the business environment.
Let's go back to this word lazy. If you've decided that this is the reason why you feel as though you might be a bit lazy, let's go back to the car analogy again. So my car takes 98. Okay. You don't really get 98 in too many petrol stations these days. It's sort of been phased out. But if I put 91 into it, and I can, the car still drives. It just doesn't drive okay. And you're a big proponent of getting the fuel right for your body, particularly like you have a carnivore diet.
Yep. Try to keep it as clean as I can, and I feel like I get the best optimization for I don't have the brain fog, sleep better, taking options away helps streamline my day, so I get more time in the day as well. Just get more strength in the gym, better ideas, longer periods I don't need food, so I can work longer. And I felt like keeping lean is much easier on that diet. It just works for me. And by removing all of the different options, my diet is consistent. I don't have those ups and downs so many people experience.
Explain to me your theory of having a shave in the morning.
Creating some discipline in your day. Some people have 1 hour, 2 hour morning routines. I just got a 3-minute morning routine. I shave in the shower. I got a mirror, use a cup. And what that does is help signify the beginning of a day where goals are going to be achieved. And I felt that having that discipline of shaving every day allows me to have a lot of self-respect, look myself in the mirror, and the clean shaven look is more trusted. That in my mind might be a placebo effect. It is scientifically proven that I'm sure beards are different, but that in-between period of the 5 o'clock shadow is less trusted than the clean shave. So I have self-respect, I've got the discipline from the activity for achieving every day, and I pretty much just do that every day. It triggers the beginning of my day.
If you're like most men, you've got a lot of stress in your life and it builds up after years and years. And the older you get, I think you're 38, I'm 51, and cortisol gets on you through your body. It's a poison essentially at the end of the day and gives you a big fat belly. It's not necessarily a beer belly, it's cortisol. So again, I use ChatGPT, found myself a homemade drink where you use pink salt, lemon juice, and apple cider in the morning. That's my start to the day. It's my start every day. It gives me electrolytes in my body and everything else. If I don't have that drink, I feel as though I'm not getting my day off right, and it's just not going to go well. If I do it right, I know that everything's going to function better and better. My body's going to function. Got the right fuel in my body.
Yeah, and with investing, with business, you want to create a trigger for activity and happiness. And if you're trying to find a deal where it's a 1 in 100 deal, and that you might have to put offers on 100 deals, is you want to create steps. And the first step in making 100 offers might be a templated sale and purchase agreement with templated clauses. The first agreement might take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but the second one might take 2 minutes. And by the time you get some flow on, you're doing agreements in 30 seconds. Creating dominoes, creating triggers in your life is the way to have success, because volume helps negate trying to find that needle in a haystack.
Yeah, and if you are able to make something like shaving a habit, or flush drinks like me a habit, after 21 days, it becomes something that you do every day, and then you bring in another one and another one, and all of a sudden you're not feeling lazy anymore. You feel like you're actually getting somewhere in life.
Yep, and there's heaps of apps that you can use for tracking. Can hold people accountable by doing things in certain groups. The benefit of going to the gym with your friends is they're going. If you don't go, they're going to know that you didn't go. And it's the same with investing. You don't have to do it by yourself. You can do it in partnerships. You can do it in groups. You can report back to your advisors on what activity you've done or not done. And so much of life, if you're not able to convert your wants into needs, is about that accountability piece in the middle. So you understand yourself better, know thyself, and then have meaning and purpose in life, and then create accountability in the groups that you work in.
And ultimately, how much do you want it? How much do you really want it? Is it going to happen one day, like I said at the start, or is this day one?
Yeah, and so much of those big goals is about working towards something that's more than just about yourself. Working towards where you can contribute to your community, your church, your local sports team. If getting out of bed for yourself isn't enough, then getting out of bed and working hard for others might be the driver that's missing.
If any of that made you slightly uncomfortable, good. That usually means it's pointing at something real. If you want more of this, calm conversations about discipline, standards, money, and the systems that actually shape how life works, then you know what to do. Hit subscribe because it's polite. No, it's not polite. It's the right thing to do. It's the sort of thing that compounds over time. And if you've got a few minutes, have a look at the other episodes on the channel. They're all connected, and they're all building towards the same idea. We'll pick that up again next time.